Peer-reviewed science is interested in the gas and the chemistry, but they're not really interested in the object. But I've come to understand that what is necessary, my friends, is to understand what the object looks like. I consider myself fortunate to be able to have come up with those blueprints, because it means that every time I went into that star map and all I could see was just the light, that was the coordinate from NASA, and I could pinpoint it, and then because I knew the blueprint, I could find a way of extracting that image, basically of making the image pop. And so I gathered the data like that. In the early days, I started to get an idea that this object was producing a gas, and when the scientist said there was a tail on it, or an anti-tail, that to me was a gas plume that had these objects inside it. So I assumed it was manufacturing parts inside it. And then, of course, there was this whole concept of plasma science and the sun's plasma and how it interacts with space objects, in particular with comets, and the kind of ionization and crystallization that happens with water crystals, which all burn off the closer the object comes to the sun. But that never happened with our Atlas. So the thing is that those objects were always there, and I was always observing them. I always noticed that they were there. And then early in September, because every time the star map came around, which was pretty much every day, or every second or third day when I got access to that star map from that specific telescope, I saw that the object was always in a different angle, or if I remember correctly, it was only through 1 week that it was pretty much on the same angle, which is interesting to note. And it was during that time that it looked a lot like a sausage, in a sausage shape. So that was different to the squat shapes again. So I was noticing that there were different shapes the object was taking on. Then early in September, when it really moved around, I saw this image of what looked like 4 arms. That really puzzled me, because by then I was looking at that sausage shape. That made me think that this object could well be rotating and spinning at the same time. And then a week later, 2 scientists wrote a paper about how the object was rotating. That rotation time has changed because there's been a recalculation. But I was in line with peer-reviewed science with this image that I was tracking. I had the coordinates. I am the one who can see what that object looks like. You see, nobody else is reporting yet what the object looks like.